Would you like for us to start immediately?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's fantastic. So, if you could please introduce yourself, where are you from, and introduce your film screening at the ARPA Festival. So, please go right ahead.
My name is Xin Li. I'm an animator and filmmaker based in Melbourne, in Australia. I originally from China, and currently now I'm just living in China now. But I work and study in Australia. You know, this year, one of my film called The Winter has been selected by IPA International Film Festival. Thank you so much for having my film. Thank you.
It is a complete pleasure, really. So, let's get down to it. So, if you don't mind me asking, how did you find the story in which you incorporated in the film? Like, where's the inspiration from?
Basically, most of my film is based on my own personal experience,
Mm,
and then this film, The Winter, is one of short film in a series called The Seasons.
mm,
So I I made each short film to represent each season in a year. So the spring represent the feeling of hopeful, and the autumn represent the feeling of uplifting.
mm.
And so for the winter, the feeling comes first, which is about peacefulness and enlightenment. And this idea has been, I'm thinking about this idea since 2014. And actually, the story is originally is for the spring,
Mm.
but I find the peaceful feeling is more suitable to the winter. So I changed the story a little bit to
Mhm.
suit to this theme.
That is fantastic to hear, actually. And with making such things, especially with making such a broad story as well, since you're beginning from every season, correct? So, what was
Yeah.
the challenges that you faced when making all of these?
The challenging part was the story, still the story,
Mm-hmm.
and also finding the I find I had a little bit difficulty to look over the pace of the film,
Mm.
but it turned. Uh, for example, for the spring and the autumn, they are not very narrative piece, and also um, and the narrative piece is the summer and the winter, and and also the other difficulty is where the inspiration come from. So I just based on my life events and what happening in my life, and I collect the inspiration.
That is that is actually fantastic to hear. And of course, with making such films and confronting such challenges, of course, you as a filmmaker, you learn certain things from that. So, what is it that you learned exactly from this? Because each experience brings its own lessons, of course.
Yeah, I think the most important thing I've learned from making these seasons is one thing is animation technique. I use it's called paint on glass animation, and this is my setup to make the film.
Ah, that's
Um,
fantastic. Yeah.
so it gave me a lot of opportunity to explore this technique
Hmm.
and how can I make the uh, especially character animation with painting animation.
That's fantastic. If you don't mind me asking, where came the inspiration of the art style? Because from when I watched it, I was blown away from this gorgeous, gorgeous art style, which
Mhm.
really reminded me of post-impressionism, somewhat Van Goghish, but at the same time, it's minimal. So, do you feel? Did you intend to have that sort of art style from the very beginning?
Yeah, because I personally study oil painting before I study animation.
Oh,
So I didn't want to give up the oil painting.
mm,
And also when I study oil painting, I I have been inspired by impressionist painting a lot.
mm.
So I thought in the painting, the art can be very impressive, and in animation, it can also be impressive as well,
Mhm.
with the art style. So I intend to make an impressionist painting style animation.
That is wonderful to hear. To be honest with you,
Mm.
another thing that I wanted to touch up on is the music that you had in your film.
Yeah.
It's very like very nice and very soundscaped, and it has a very chilling feel towards it, somewhat ominous. Was this planned from the very beginning? Once you had a, let's say, a color palette chosen, for example?
No, it was a totally surprise.
Oh,
Um, Before I make this animation, uh, I had an idea about maybe a piano and a flute in the film, but uh, at that time, the music composer Migo Otero, he sent me an email said he wanted to work with me, and I said, and I heard his work, and it's really good. So I thought this perfectly suited to the theme. So we talked a little bit. So he worked on this, and he gave me a new piece, which is um, totally new, and gave the more space and also more spirit to the film. I was so surprised.
yes, the music is indeed breathtaking, and it fits so well with the film. I'm
Thank you.
very happy to hear that, actually. So, going back to the story of the film, uh, what do you feel that your film itself, says about the current world that we're living in? Since it's from your own life experience, if you don't mind us asking, like where that comes from.
Um, I and in the film, the deer, the beautiful deer, and has aura, and is kind of like a mysterious creature,
Hmm.
and it can represent uh, it can represent a beautiful thing, or also some uh, uh, attractive thing in life. And I find sometimes when people chasing this beautiful thing, they uh, might have the chance to lost their own path, and then uh, but it's also a journey. It can lead people to another level of looking over the whole life, or the whole picture. So um, so this film is about uh, uh, this guy chasing this beautiful deer, and then he lost his way, but he find a more beautiful scene.
What was that universal theme that you wanted to explore through this film?
I think it's a personal growth. Uh, so through the journey, through the adventure, we discover it more, and it's more universal. Like everyone experience the growth in the different ways.
Well, that is a fantastic theme to begin with. Growth is a very big part of life. So it is indeed quite the theme to touch on when it comes to your films. And as for filmmaking in general, so you say that you have a background in oil painting, correct? So
Yeah,
what was it that got you into filmmaking from oil painting? Was it originally the plan? Was it originally to study oil painting and incorporate that into your animations?
I think when I was very little, around 6 or 7, I started drawing, and also I use drawing to tell stories. I remember when I was in primary school, I started making comic books.
Mm.
So I think storytelling with the image is also always in my behind my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to art high school and also art college to study traditional painting.
Mm.
And then after I graduated from the college, and I thought I can study a little bit more about visual story. So I find animation is the best way. And also at that time, the course has the most drawing class in the college. So I choose animation. And then in the second year of animation, my teacher genuinely encouraged me to use oil painting, which I have learned to make animation. So from that time, I use um, oil painting to make animation.
That is indeed quite the style that you chose, because it's not really an easy style to go into when it comes to animation specifically. You said yourself that you had some. It was quite the challenge to do it technically, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and also I have been inspired by Russian animator Alexander Petrov, and
Oh,
also Canadian animator Carolyn Leaf. They all making oil painting animation,
yes.
and they inspire me a lot.
That is fantastic to hear. And of course, with all of this that's happening in your life, when you're like, in class and you're drawing comic books, of course at some point you think that was a hobby, but at some point something clicks inside your head and you say that, no, this is what I want to do in my life. Where was that
Yeah,
turning point for you? Like, when was it that you realized that this is what I want to do?
uh, that was in the second year of uni. Um, I in Australia I study animation and also in my second year we make short film for the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And I find before I study animation I was training my skill of painting, but I never feel I have created anything. So I don't I didn't I, I didn't feel like I use the media to express myself. Except I do the first short film, I find this is a way I can tell story and express my feelings and communicate with the viewer. And that was the first time I fall in love with this media.
You say that you feel like this is the way that you want to continue making short films and everything. Have you completed all of the seasons that you wanted to touch up on? Have you?
Um, the only one left is the summer. I've made the autumn, the spring, and the winter,
Hmm.
and now I'm just making the summer at this
Oh,
stage.
oh, that's fantastic. So we will look forward to hopefully see that at some point, and maybe
Thank
after
you.
that, maybe after that, do you see yourself making anything else, making more short films? Well,
I, I think at the moment I just focus on the summer,
mhm.
and it's a narrative piece about love relationship, and I find and that kind of warmth from love can be represented by the summer season.
So, I believe that is everything. So, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you very much for sharing your film with us in the world. It is truly a beautiful film. I recommend everyone to see it, and I am now genuinely excited to see uh, the previous two films that you have. I've only seen The Winter, but however, I'm very excited to see now. I'm going to ask to find a way how to
Oh,
see that. Is there a way that anyone could watch those films?
these two films has been released 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Mm.
and it's um, it's still not online yet.
Oh, oh,
Um,
okay.
If you search the spring and search my name Xin Li, and there was a video come up, and also the autumn Xin Li, and there's a video will come up.
All right, that is fantastic. Well, I'm very glad that anyone right now is able to go at that point once it is available to go at that point and see I guess the series of films that you are creating and have created so far, and I am very excited to see the summer.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
an
you for
absolute
having.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have yourself a good day.
You too. See you.